Marcus Spears, ESPN NFL analyst, and contributes to Get Up and NFL Live and other programs. You can see him with Dan Orlovsky, Mina Kimes, Ryan Clark, Laura Rutledge every weekday, 4 Eastern. And you got football coming up, Monday's MegaCast. It'll be the Cardinals and the Rams available on ESPN+. Marcus, great to have you back. Are you a no-chance guy when it comes to, like, the Steelers against the Chiefs or the Eagles against the Buccaneers? Because I called out Rob Ninkovich. He said the Eagles have no chance. Well, if the Eagles win the game, Ninkovich should sit down for a week. He should be suspended for a week. All right?
He should, DP. He should. And I am absolutely not a no chance guy. I played in this league. I've been playing football too long, since Pee Wee football in South Baton Rouge, Louisiana, to know that teams have no chance. Okay. Now there are different levels to no chance, DP. You remember those games when you were in like middle school and nobody was over 4'10" and your whole basketball team was like 5'7" and above? That's when you have no chance. But in the NFL, based on what we've seen, ADP, I bet he would have said the Jacksonville Jaguars had no chance against the Colts the last week of the season. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I bet he would have said the Jets had no chance last year to beat the Las Vegas Raiders at the end of the game last year. So look, I have always been one of those guys that looks at matchups, that looks at individual performances. And if you got a guy like TJ Watt on your team, you got a chance. And I keep telling people that. And that doesn't mean that they're going to win the game. But the Pittsburgh Steelers have a chance because they in the playoffs. And I'm telling you, week 9, everybody probably said they had no chance in hell to get into the postseason. So I'm not a no chance guy.
When you go into the playoffs as a former defensive player, is it spoken about trying to take the opposing quarterback out? Like you get it
not out.
Not out.
DP. No, not out. I mean, if it happens, we're not mad about it. Let me say that. If it happens, we're not mad about it. But it's a healthy respect, man. You know how it go. And the game has changed. I'm sure guys back in the old days would have said yes to that. But when I played, we wanted to rough them up enough where they couldn't be as effective as they were. But taking them out, if it's happenstance, then we are not going to cry any tears about it. Like when I was in the division with the Cowboys, I wouldn't have been mad if we knocked Donovan McNabb out the game. I wouldn't have been mad if we knocked Eli out of the game. And I'm bringing up guys that stopped me from getting to the playoffs, Dan. So I'm still kind of scoring.
But that feeling, did you ever feel sorry for a quarterback during a game?
Hell no. I ain't even feel sorry for our own. So I know I ain't feel sorry for the ones. DP, we are out there banging. I'm a defensive lineman. We out there banging 60+ plays a game, and the quarterback get hit and everybody has a moment of silence and the whole stadium got to exit and re-enter the stadium to make sure everybody's okay. I ain't give a damn about no quarterbacks getting hurt or roughed up. I didn't care.
All right, give me the underdog with the best chance of winning.
San Francisco 49ers. And you know how much I love the Dallas Cowboys. But the brand of football that they play is just difficult to sustain the level that you need to sustain for 4 quarters when they're going to keep coming downhill. They're going to be physical. They're going to stick to their game plan. They went down 17-0 to the Rams last week and never changed their identity one bit. I will say this, though, DP. I really want the Dallas Cowboys to put this game in Jimmy Garoppolo's hands. I feel comfortable with that. And look, I'm not a Jimmy G detractor. I'm just not a Jimmy G lover. I don't trust Jimmy Garoppolo like a lot of people trust him. When people say my body physically, DP, when people say Jimmy Garoppolo led the 49ers to a Super Bowl, I break out in hives listening to it. You mean the guy that threw 8 passes in an NFC championship led a football team to a championship? So if you allow these guys to be, the word that's been thrown around is physicality. Dan, let me tell you something, bro. Everybody in the damn NFL physical. You ain't getting them checks or them direct deposits every week if you're not physical. You just have to last long. Most teams don't force you to play the run like the San Francisco 49ers do for an entire game. And you just got to make your mind up that you're going to be disciplined the whole way. But if Jimmy Garoppolo has it in his hands, I'll be drinking this clear cup of coffee, watching the game. DP, does this make me look like a spoiled rich person with a clear coffee mug?
If your pinky finger goes up, Marcus,
like
then
this?
you look a little soft.
Okay.
I mean, nobody's going to say it to your face, but I can say it via Zoom. You look soft. I'm looking at the quarterbacks with the most pressure.
Yeah.
And I know where I would start. I think this guy's got the most pressure. I'm curious who you think the quarterback who will be under the most pressure playoff time.
DP, this one gonna shock you because the normal is Matthew Stafford. I think that's been like the overall Aaron Rodgers. Has anybody ever thought about that? Has anybody watched how that offseason transpired? The only way to keep this noise quiet is to go win a Super Bowl. Because look, Aaron has played at the MVP level. I think he's the MVP. And by the way, Aaron is not my favorite guy. Okay. I don't love to see what Aaron Rodgers is talking about, but I do have a healthy respect for how he's been able to keep his game at this level. And he's been able to carry a team for a long time. But DP, we sitting here not knowing after a restructured contract if he's going to return to Green Bay. He spent an entire offseason at odds with the franchise. He needed players, so they relented and brought in Randall Cobb, even though Randall Cobb has been hurt. They made some concessions for him. Does anybody think about Aaron Rodgers' responsibility to the Green Bay Packers and the rest of this football team? We expect him to at least make it to the NFC Championship, and that's where the buck has stopped for him for so many years. He got to get to a Super Bowl and win it, man. Or at some point, we got to say, like we do for every other star, he couldn't get it done. He just couldn't get it done.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Matthew Stafford and Josh Allen are 1-2 on my list.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I would put Dak Prescott in there just because he's the quarterback of the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are a year ahead of schedule. Because I don't know if they knew what they had in Diggs and Micah Parsons. Now they realize that, and you don't want to miss out on this opportunity. Ben doesn't have any pressure on him. Joe Burrow doesn't have pressure on him. Derek Carr doesn't have pressure on him. Brady always has pressure, but it feels like he wants the pressure. He's an underdog. He didn't get the MVP. Now he's an underdog. He got a chip on his shoulder. I love that. I just don't know how good they are because that defense hasn't been what it was in the Super Bowl.
DP, I tell people all the time, it's okay. It's not taboo to say Aaron Rodgers is under pressure. Like, how many years did we spend talking about Drew Brees in order to enter the conversation of the greats? We know Aaron's talent is unbelievable, but in order for Drew to enter the conversation of the greats, to have him be a part of the all-time top 5 or whatever you want to put in conversation, he needed more than one. Aaron Rodgers has been stopped in the NFC Championship a lot.
Yeah.
Now imagine if this was a LeBron James getting stopped in the Eastern or Western Conference Finals all of these times, the conversation that would go on. Imagine if this was the Yankees when Steinbrenner and they had all of this talent and spent all of this money and they couldn't make it out of the conference, out of the series. So I don't necessarily equate pressure to if a guy is going to have the rest of his career or if he's going to be good. I equate pressure to how did you perform? What is expected of you? And then in Aaron's case, he entered a different nuance by the battle between him and the Green Bay Packers this offseason. So, I mean, I think it's a failure if they don't win a Super Bowl. It was all about nothing.
Well, I look at the Packers in 2020, 13 wins. 2021, 13 wins. The defense in 2020 ranked 13th. This year's team ranked 13th in defense. You have home field advantage. That Tampa team that, if they do come to town, will not be as formidable as they were a year ago. And Aaron has not done well in title games, even when he's hosted those title games. Well, Peyton Manning went through this as well, where, Peyton's playoff record wasn't very good. But Do we hold quarterbacks, accountable in a different way than we do other athletes in other sports? Because you mentioned LeBron, right. And that there's certain sports or baseball pitchers, players, but when it comes to quarterbacks, our bottom line is winning championships. Yes. But I think people don't realize how Aaron has not performed, or at least the Packers haven't, when they get to the NFC title game.
They're not, DP, because they're blinded by all of the greatness in the individual and the talent and the balls that we see Aaron Rodgers throw and the wins and how much he accounts for. Listen, this is not a conversation about if Aaron Rodgers is a Hall of Famer or one of the top quarterbacks ever. It's about his resume. The reason why we call Tom Brady the GOAT is because of championships. Tom Brady don't have a drop of the talent that a lot of quarterbacks we've seen have. Tom Brady don't have Elway talent. He don't have Dan Marino's talent. He don't have Steve Young's talent or Aaron Rodgers or Patrick Mahomes. But in those moments where you need to be great is what we judge these level of quarterbacks on. And that's why he's considered the GOAT. He's considered the GOAT because you would put all of your money and your house on Tom Brady in the last drive of a football game to get his team to a championship. Aaron Rodgers has not done that. Now I'm mad at Matt LaFleur. Last year, I believe that was a lot on him of not letting him have the ball in his hands in the fourth quarter, but he also had 3 turnovers. He also gave the ball away in that game as well. So I don't just subscribe to, individual talent as making you the GOAT. As far as what did you do? How did you elevate in those particular moments? I fight with Dan Orlovsky about this all the time. Okay. He goes to bat for every quarterback because every quarterback is good in the NFL to Dan Orlovsky. But I tell him all the time, man, we're not judging Carson Wentz on if he can throw a touchdown in the first quarter of a football game when you on your first 15-play script and it's hard as hell for the defense to figure out what you're doing. We judge Carson Wentz when you're down to Jacksonville and you throw 2 damn interceptions or you make a bonehead play and fumble the football. We judge Baker Mayfield on the Cleveland Browns are good and they get the ball into the fourth quarter and he throws an interception in the Kansas City game. Or he can't get it done. And then that's where we judge quarterbacks. We see Aaron do that all year long. And for some reason in these NFC championships, he cannot overcome that hurdle. So we'll see if he can this year. I believe he can. I don't think his talent lends itself to not having that ability. He just hasn't done it.
We're talking to Marcus Spears, NFL Live, Monday through Friday at 4 Eastern. And also, they have their wild card game. That'll be the Cardinals
DP, look.
in the room.
DP, look.
I know. Look at you. I know. That's not a good look.
It's not a good look.
I got you. You sacked Brady in 2011.
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay.
I didn't even remember what happened, DP. I was just like sometimes, I tell people all the time, man, playing football, sometimes the play happened and it feel like you blink and it's over. I whooped the offensive lineman, whoever was in front of me, and Brady just happened to be in the way of the freight train, So, hey, I got hits. Believe this, DP. I was not a sack guy. I was considered a bust because of my draft pick. Because, if you don't get over 90 sacks, then you sucked in your whole career. Like playing the run and doing all of that stuff does not matter in the grand scheme of things. But I did hit Drew Brees. I sacked Drew Brees. I sacked Ben. I sacked Brady. I hit Aaron. Got a pressure on Aaron. I think I've sacked all of the guys that's going to go to the Hall of Fame or at least got a big hit on them. So I feel really good about that.
How tough was Roethlisberger to bring down?
He was bigger than me, DP, at the time. It's like I'm watching this show called Yellowstone, which is one of the greatest shows ever. I don't know if you guys have watched it. DP, if you have anytime, watch Yellowstone.
I've been watching.
It's like when them dudes jump off that damn horse and they trying to wrangle them little calves. That's how it is trying to tackle Big Ben, man.
I liken him to King Kong. He's on the Empire State Building.
Yes.
And those planes that come around him, he just keeps swatting them. People don't realize how big certain quarterbacks are. And also certain, like Cam Newton, when him and Kelvin Benjamin walked on the field, I thought it was a basketball team. I thought it was, it was a basketball team.
Yeah, man. Yeah, listen, DP, when we played, funny story, I played Ben, when I was at LSU, we played Miami of Ohio when Ben was in college.
Okay.
And I remember Nick Saban telling us, hey, this guy's going to be a top pick. He's a very good football player, and he's big. So you better bring all you have when you get in there to get him on the ground. So Ben has been like this. DP, people look at the game and they wonder why Ben can't move, because Ben has taken hits from guys the same size as him for a long time. Yeah. And he's still, I don't know how the hell he in the playoffs. And you got to be crazy to say that Ben has no chance in the playoffs. All right. Speaking of what we were talking about earlier, because I've seen him do this too many times.
Great to talk to you, as always.
You too, my brother.
Love the energy. Have a great weekend, and we hope to talk to you soon. Thank you.
DP, send me one of them trinkets, man. I love them.
What do you want?
Please.
What do you want?
I don't know. If that's not the old mic that you used when you first started doing radio, then I like that right there. I just want something so next time I'm on your show, you can see one of yours from my feet.
Well, why don't you send a jersey, and then we'll put a jersey here in the man cave, and then when you come on, we go to. I know Greeny doesn't put up one of your jerseys in the man cave there.
No,
on Get Up.
I told you the first time. I don't fool with Greeny like that. Everybody think I do. I don't. Me and G ain't all that tight like that. No, I'm just playing. He just got Jalen Rose. He got all of these guys that everybody knows. You got to be super famous for Greeny to put your thing up.
Dan Orlovsky offered me a jersey and I declined.
Your show might get canceled.
I said, I'll take the jersey where you ran out of the end zone during a play. That's the one I want with Orlovsky.
Get him, DP. Love you, brother.
Swagoo.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, man. That's Marcus Spears. I love the energy.